right, good evening, ladies, and welcome to another episode of FitNLadyLike A Boss Series. This is episode 9, Pageant Leadership, and tonight I have my good friend Kristin Benford here. As you all know, I am Marquessa Keith, the owner of Atkins and Keith Consultants LLC and FitNLadyLike Trademark. So tonight I invited my good friend Kristin Benford on to talk to us about pageant leadership. Now, I know you all may be wondering about that, and we're going to get into some details, so I want you to stick around. But a little bit about Kristin without stealing her thunder. Besides, she's a good friend of mine. I'm going to keep on saying that. She's also actively serving her country. She's a service member in the Army. I say who. So you cannot take away from that. She's also the owner of Olivia Grace Southern Boutique Group. She also has 2 platforms that she's going to talk to us about tonight under the pageant leadership umbrella of her being a contestant in quite a few beauty pageants of ME3 and the Legacy Tea. And so we're going to hear about that too. So without further ado, Kristin, I am going to turn it over to you so you can tell us a little bit more about your background.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marquessa, for having me. I'm so super excited to be with you tonight. So just to elaborate, yes, Marquessa is my really, really good friend. We go all the way back, right? So yes, I am a member of the United States Army. I've served my country for over 17 years, a number of combat tours, multiple deployment. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of a 4-year-old Joshua who keeps me energized all the time. I am the owner of Olivia Grace Southern Boutique. And so what we provide with Olivia Grace, it's luxurious items at a cost. So I want you to secure the bag, but still have something to put in the bag, right? I'm the founder of the Legacy Foundation, which motto is ME3, motivate, encourage, empower, and educate our youth to be the best they can be. I am an etiquette consultant, a certified etiquette consultant. I am a certified licensed massage therapist, just to name a few things that I do. But in all the things that I do, I love to do them. And pageant plus leadership is close to my heart. I've been involved in pageantry for at least 23 years, if not longer, in some form or fashion, either a contestant or helping or a sponsor. And I'm looking to expand that. Yes. So that's just a little bit about me.
Girl, and I'm telling you, you have a lot of great things going on. And just for the viewers that are listening, I want them to know, yes, the FitNLadyLike brand and the platform is all about health and wellness as a lifestyle, right? Because it truly is. So I just want to put any wondering minds to rest. Like probably the question is going through your mind. Okay, well, what does this have to do with that? Everything, which is why the title was Pageant Leadership. And we're going to go a little bit deeper, So I'll let Kristin drive more of explaining from her background and sharing more with us. But being healthy and competing, being a contestant, getting yourself prepared at a local level or even at the Miss Universe level, you can take it as far as you want to go. But when I put this platform together, I didn't just stovepipe it to one-dimensional things, right? I'm multi-dimensional. FitNLadyLike platform is a multi-dimensional platform for women and young ladies as well. And the reason why I like to keep the youth in there is because we both have a passion for them. And a lot of times it is developing their minds, their thoughts, their dreams, their passions of what they think they want to do and how they can make that lucrative, whether they decide to monetize it or not, and what avenues and obstacles that they can get over if they should find some in their way. And I know a lot of girls are interested in doing pageants. So we're going to go right into these questions so you can tell us a little bit more. But what inspired you, Kristin, most about entering the pageantry world? What inspired you to enter into pageants?
So the first pageant I ever did was in 1998. That sounds like such a long time ago, right? 1998. But I was a junior in high school and I saw this flyer and it said do a pageant. And so I'm kind of tomboyish. I ran track, I played in the band, but I wanted to try something different, right? So I've never been conformed to one thing. And like you, I think I'm multifunctional, multidimensional. So I wanted to try a pageant. So I tried the pageant, I didn't win. Of course I didn't win. I didn't have a clue of what I was doing, but I had fun doing it, right? And so fast forward to my freshman year of college, and there was a pageant called the Miss Black and Gold, associated with the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And so I did that pageant. And that was the first pageant I ever won, right? So being from a small town, Scottsboro, Alabama, there are not a lot of opportunities for young girls to do pageants, especially not young girls that look like me. So when I started doing the pageants, I saw, wow, like we are really out here, like really doing it, right? So that really, I guess it was kind of like a fish to a hook. It baited me. Mm-hmm. And also what I didn't know that I learned when I was in college is that pageants can pay for your college. There are a number of scholarship opportunities in pageants. Even if you don't win, there are scholarship opportunities. Payment, I mean, like big money into doing pageants. But that's what really, I guess, energized me to do more pageants. When I saw that there was one financial benefit from doing this. Now you do have to spend a little money, yes, but you can reap so many different rewards. I've known people who have gained jobs from doing pageants, because in pageants, there are certain things that you have to do. Like you have to do an interview, you have to be able to dress in a gown, but you have to present yourself in a way that people recognize, you know what, we might want to keep her on our team. So that's just one thing that I think truly inspired me to do pageants, because it's so much more than just a pretty face. You have a brain behind that, right?
It is. And I can't wait until we deep dive in that part so you talk more about that. But this next question for you, though, is, what are some of those mental, physical, and wellness demands that you must maintain in order to be competitive at each level, meaning the local level all the way up, to Miss Universe? Because I imagine similar, even though it's not like a bodybuilding competition, you still have to maintain some mental, physical wellness and upkeep about yourself to remain competitive at each level. So what can you share and talk to us more about on that front when it comes to the mental, physical, and health wellness piece of entering pageant contests?
Absolutely. So let's talk about the mental part first. First, you have to make the conscious decision that this is something you want to do. And that's in your mind, right? So many times we self-sabotage ourselves, because what are you doing? You're looking at all these other girls saying, oh, well, she's prettier than me. She's taller than me. She has the best dress, the most expensive dress, the best wig. Who cares? If you self-sabotage yourself, you have already lost the pageant, period. Right? Then you have to go into the pageant with intent. The intent is to win. As long as you put your best foot forward and leave it all on the stage, that's all you can do. It's kind of like football. It's any given Sunday. So depending on what the judges want, what the pageant director wants, that's who they're going to pick. But if you do the best that you can do, that's all you can do. And then as far as health and wellness, a lot of pageants have different categories. So they might have a fitness where you wear like an athletic outfit, or they might have swimsuit. Regardless of what you wear, either fitness or swimsuit, you want to be your best. And you do that from the inside out, right? You can wear $1,000 gown, but still be $2 on the inside, right? It doesn't matter. So if your insides don't match your outside, people are going to see that, because that's the it factor. You've seen people that just come in a room and they dominate the room and they didn't even say anything. And that's how queens operate. They can come in a room and you're just like, what? She didn't, what? That's the it factor. And that it factor has nothing to do with the outside. It has everything to do with your inside. So it takes that mental intent, that courage, and the purpose all together to be a queen.
Yes. And that's amazing that you say that whole it factor, because I imagine that it factor come with the young lady or the woman having a level of confidence and poise and stage presence, all of that going into that mental, physical, and the wellness piece, which leads right into the next question too. I imagine that takes some coaching and some guidance. So, how does a pageant coach assist contestants to progress through competitions? because I imagine there's phases to this. You may wake up one day and say, hey, I want to enter this pageant. I want to get my feet wet, or I want to go after exactly what you said. I have a purpose and an intent to win. But what type of, how does coaching really help make that come to life for a contestant?
So any great athlete has a coach. Period. They can't do it by themselves. You can put all these things in place. For example, Michael Jordan. He's an outstanding, LeBron James, outstanding basketball player. He has the talent, but if you can't have somebody that cultures and nurtures that talent, it kind of just falls by the wayside. So that's what you have to do when you're looking for a coach. And what I do, I have never had a designated coach. I kind of pick and choose what I see from other winners, what they used and which coaches they use to see, well, let's put this in Army terms, put it in my toolkit, right? And so that's what I've done. But you have to figure out what works for you. Pageant systems and coaches are like shoes. Every shoe does not fit your foot, right? So you have to figure out what works for you. And it's like a big puzzle. Maybe this coach can help you with appearance or your outfits. This coach can help you with your walking or your poise. This coach can help you with interview skills. So you just kind of have to pick and choose which pageant coach works for you. But I think it's absolutely important to have a coach or have a mentor. I don't have a coach, but I have a fairy godmother. And I call her my pageant fairy godmother. True story. I met her in 2010 when I was doing a pageant, and she literally inspired me, right? And so what a mentor is somebody that you feel comfortable with talking to, they inspire you, and you want to emulate what they're doing. So every time I get ready to enter a pageant, I reach out to my pageant fairy godmother and say, hey, how you doing? I'm looking to do this. What do you think? And she gives me like literally the real deal Holyfield on it. Do this, don't do this, try this. This might work. But in pageantry, you build that network, right? Because pageants are like a really small network, just like the Army is a really small network. You never know who you're going to meet in a different system. But yeah, I think you have to have somebody in your corner because people don't understand pageants. They used to truly think that pageants were just beauty.
Yes.
But I will tell you that the ladies that I have met are doctors, are lawyers, are big boss CEOs. Okay. So, I mean, it's changing. The dynamic has changed.
Yes, it has changed a whole lot. And so, what are some of the lasting impacts, that contestants are able to leave on their local communities or the world in general as they're winning these pageants and they're moving up to the next level? Like how you mentioned before, you have to start at ground zero. You started at your university and the Miss Black and Gold pageants, and you mentioned the benefits and the rewards of scholarship money. People probably can make their salary by doing this. Absolutely. So I imagine that there is an impact that is involved that winning contestant would leave on their communities in a form in which you have done. So can you talk more about, some of the lasting impacts that pageant queens who have won, such as yourself, leave on their local communities and the world in general?
Absolutely. So my platform is the Legacy Foundation. And so I started this foundation in my hometown because I felt like it was a need. And so a lot of pageants, they require you to have a platform. It just kind of worked out that way for me that I already had a foundation and that was my platform. But the beauty of that is, people like sparkly things, right? So once you win your title, you have this beautiful sparkly crown and people want to know more. So that opens the door for people to start that conversation with you about, well, you have this crown, so what do you do? Well, this is what we do. The Legacy Foundation, we try to meet that need. We take care of our people in our community, regardless of where the community is, right? So me being a military person, my community is wherever I am at the time. However, I have a home base, but wherever I am in the world, that's my community. And I just join into that community. I latch in, right? But what we have done over the past 6 years, we provided scholarships for seniors. We provided Thanksgiving dinners for families. We've provided Christmas gifts for families who are not able to afford. all the things that they needed for Christmas. We have done the LOC, the Lines of Communication Forum, where we had community leaders come in and talk to our young men about what's going on and provide that safe space. We've done, and you were absolutely a part of my first ever event, the Legacy Tea Party, where we had ladies in the community come and speak to young girls and tell them about, what can you expect in life? And this is what you should do. And if you need help, reach out to us, because literally we are your resource now. We've been there, we've done it, and we can assist you. But that's what being a pageant queen is. It's so much more than a crown. With that crown, you have an obligation. You have an obligation to share your gift and your story with the world. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I remember the Legacy Tea as well in Scottsboro that we went to a few years back. And I do remember a couple of the young ladies coming up to all of us after the tea was over, and they had some great questions. And I want to say one of them was interested in entering a pageant or was getting ready for one and was seeking you out for guidance and coaching. So that definitely is amazing. And I can attest to everything that your platform has done in multiple communities. So thank you so much again for what you continue to do, which leads into our next question. How important is it, with all of that being said, for contestants to really increase their leadership skills and ability before and after competing in a pageant? Because you have to carry that on, right? And that's where that whole pageant leadership comes in, because like you've already said, it goes beyond the appearance of looks, of being beautiful. Women are beautiful, but they have a brain. These young ladies have a brain, and they have a passion, and they have gifts that they can give back to their community. And it's like the bootstrap effect, where they can impart their leadership in such a way where it will be moving so that they can do some of the same things that you're doing. But can you share more of, how important is it for that leadership piece, those skills to be there before they get ready to compete, and then after they compete and win the pageant?
Yes. So by definition, a queen is a ruler. Period, point blank. She's a ruler. She is the leader of whatever empire or organization she's a part of, right? So once you get the title, you should already have those attributes and those characteristics of a leader, right? So not a lot of women compete in pageants. And one thing I think, competing in a pageant, you've already stepped outside your comfort zone.
Yes.
Because let me tell you something. Not a lot of people can get up there on stage and wear a little swimsuit. It's a lot. It's a lot. But that's a leader. You can do it, so you can show other people they can do it too. And for me, I have lost way more pageants than I have won. However, it's important for me because I have nieces. I have, a goddaughter. I have a son that I'm raising, and it's important for him to see people that look like you and I doing the same things others are doing. So it's important for representation for me. But as a leader, those directors that put those pageants together, they are leaders in their community as well, because they're putting together a platform or an event for other people to shine through. And that's what I think a good leader does, right? You elevate yourself and then you elevate others, right? You at some point you have to be a follower. I understand that, but a good leader continues to elevate other people with them.
Yes. And I think that's what pageant queen, the rulers, that their voice and their leadership skills and continuing to build upon that brings. I think that's what it imparts in their community, because when you're well respected, you feel good, you're operating in a space that you're passionate about, that you love. I think that builds stronger character and leadership abilities as well, so that people see you and they want to emulate what you do, and they tend to listen and follow, which goes into the next question about, how are pageants creating more of a diversity and inclusion type entity at the local community level, right? Because I understand it can be a little bit difficult to start there and have this big dream of, I want to be, Miss Universe, Miss USA, and it's a phase to get there. So what are some of the things that you think the pageantry world is doing to create more of diversity and inclusion at the local level?
So when I first started, there were not a lot of pageants that were cater to us, right? And so now there are so many. A lot of the directors are African American females or African American males. But I will tell you this fact, and I had to do some research on this. The Miss USA pageant was founded in 1952. Okay, 1952. We're in 2022 now. The first ever Black Miss USA was in 1990. Okay, Miss America, which was the first ever pageant, was in 1921. Founded in 1921. The first ever Miss Black America, Miss America, who was Black, was Miss Vanessa Williams in 1983. Okay, so if you put that in perspective of years, what are we doing, right? And so literally 3 years ago, we had a Miss Black. Miss USA was Black. Miss America was Black. Miss Teen USA was Black. That was in the 2000s, right? So the pageant world is opening up to us, but we are building our own opportunities. In 1968, Miss Black America was founded. In 1986, Miss Black USA was founded. So for me, that gives me chills, right? Because I'm super passionate about this stuff. We didn't have the opportunities, so we created our own. We created our own opportunities. And so I think they're doing that now, but we've been doing it, right? It's nothing new under the sun. We're doing it. We were doing it then, and we're going to keep doing it now. But I think more people are open to us being a part of those pageants. But listen, the numbers don't lie. 1983 and 1990, that's wild to me, but we're doing it. We are doing it. We are in there and we ain't going nowhere. So
that's amazing that you did that historical timeline of where we started, where it has come from. So that definitely is a great testimony of there is opportunity for growth and being diverse and being inclusive of all races and background and ethnicities. And we're seeing that now from the timeline that you just gave, which brings me to a great point. I remember in 2019, I believe it was, with Miss Universe, and I hope I don't get her name wrong, Miss Zozabini.
Uh-huh.
One of her questions I remember Steve Harvey asking her was about what does she think young girls need or are lacking in the world now, and she spoke on leadership. She felt that they needed more of a leadership presence in women because pageant is moving from just being all about beauty, because there are a lot of intellectual women. There's a lot of intellectual girls that will one day replace her and wear that same crown. And that leadership piece was very important. And I resonated and went back to that as we were getting ready to prepare for this episode. And I was like, yes, that is going a level deeper about why that leadership is needed and where the lack may be. And for her to open that door and open up that discussion and provoke thoughts by giving the answer she gave, I just thought that was so powerful. But you've already given quite a bit about what your platforms have done and what type of impact they have made in your communities and other communities with ME3 and the Legacy T, the Legacy Foundation, all the things that you have done to give back. So if you want to touch on it some more, we can. But my next question for you on that too is, what are some of the lessons that you have learned since being, a pageant contestant in the different competitions that you have entered in over the years?
So number one lesson, again, I'm going to go back to self-sabotage, right? So I believe in research. Okay. I believe in researching. So you have to research the pageant that you're going to do. Again, every pageant does not fit every person, right? And so you have to figure out what works for you, because most pageants have a platform that they promote. So for instance, one pageant that I'm aware of, they promote veterans assistance, right? So they work trying to get funding and different things for veterans. If that's not something that you're interested in, you might not want to compete in that. Another pageant system works on heart health, right? So they focus on healthy well-being, the way of life, trying to take care of your heart. So some of the lessons that I have learned is, and because I am from Army background, I had to put it in an acronym, and it's PIC, right? PIC, preparation, intent, and consistency.
Yes.
Preparation is the key to anything that you want to do, right? You have to prepare. When I was doing the Miss Essence pageant in 2012, I took a whole year, and when I tell you I worked out, I ate right, like I was getting it. But also behind the scenes, I asked my friends when they would call me, ask me at least one pageant question so I could be ready for an interview, right? Because all an interview is a conversation, but you have to be comfortable with yourself in order to deliver what you need to deliver. So that was my preparation for that. The intent. If you just go into any pageant thinking, well, it's just a pageant, I'm just going to put on a dress, I'm just going to do this, I'm just going to walk, you're already done set yourself up for okie doke. The intent behind you doing the pageant is to win the pageant. Now, whatever happens, right? But the intent is to go in there to win.
Yes.
And then the last one, consistency.
Oh, go ahead.
Consistency, right? And so anything worth having is worth working hard for. It's not going to be easy. So yes, I might want the Little Debbie right now, but I can't eat the Little Debbie because I got to get in this dress, right? I'm just real with you. Some things you have to give up in order to get what you want to get. So if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got. So if you want to get something better, you got to do better. So PIC is just my acronym that I have learned. Preparation, intent, and consistency.
I'm definitely going to remember that. And I'm glad that you spoke a little bit more and shared that you are a service member, because I'm a service member as well. And I know a lot of times people ask me in business perspective outside of the military who are not in the uniform, and they're like, oh, you're in the military and you do this. And I'm like, yes, because we do have passions, we have skills in addition to our military background that allows us to make that as a part of our lifestyle, right? And I never want anyone that wear the uniform that may have been thinking about, a business venture, or may have been thinking about doing something else, and they think it's going to be an interference. It's not, because it's kind of like that hobby, but it can be a paid hobby if you choose to monetize it. And I'm not trying to convince anybody to do it. Take this as encouragement that if you are that service member that is listening, and there's a few of us in this group that have thought about, starting some sort of entity, whether it's a nonprofit or it's for profit, I would encourage you to do it. There are a lot of women doing it. There are a lot of, beautiful, smart, intellectual females across all branches of service that has done the Miss Veterans pageant and done an amazing job and went on to other pageants. And they have been able to use their platform from a leadership perspective to really give back to their community. And it has been praised and it has been duly noted in the public from all of those services. So it's definitely encouraged. I just wouldn't want anybody to feel like, oh, I have these other passions, but I serve and I don't want to do it, and I don't want to do it publicly because of whatever reason. If you have that skill, you have that passion, and you're able to make an impact on your community, especially if it's in the pageant world, whatever that thing may be, as long as it's positive and it's ethical and it's legal, and we all know we're going to do ethical and legal things, I would encourage you to do it, because the more you have something that you can consume you and your family in together, or in a support entity outside of your main focus, it brings my heart so much joy to be able to help other people. It brings my heart so much joy to know that I'm not alone, that there are other women in the uniform that are doing similar or like things. And I applaud you all. I clap you all, because we're wives. We are mothers. We have been stepping in the gap if we don't have kids for maybe nieces and nephews. And it just warms my heart to see people doing what they love, whether it's on one dimensional front or it's multi-dimensional front. So Kristen, I thank you so much. And before we wrap up, I do have a few more questions for you. So this next one is, if anyone wants to connect with you or support any of the platforms that you have in the community now, what is the best way that they can connect with you outside of this forum?
So I'm on Facebook. I'm public, and my name, Kristin Benford. You can find me on Facebook just like that. It's me and my little boy. So if you see a head with the little boy, it's him. That's me. If you're looking for luxury items, you can look at same name, Kristin Benford, Olivia Grace Southern Boutique group on Facebook. And then if you're interested in supporting the nonprofit organization on Facebook, it's the Legacy Foundation ME3 on Facebook, and you can find out what we're doing.
The Legacy Foundation ME3.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to pop that on the screen so that they can see it as well.
Yes.
And I definitely love Fitty and Ladylike has started doing the scholarship programs as well. Me and my son donated a scholarship to a young lady last August, I believe, August 2021. And we're getting ready to start that back up. So I know that you do the scholarships as well. So we got to get you in the rotation for ME3, especially with your next backpack and school supply drive that you're going to be doing. Let me know what the dates are for that as well, so that we can collaborate with you and give back from Diverse Vibe and Fitty and Ladylike platforms.
Absolutely.
But thank you. So I ask every guest these questions. Are you ready? Before we end with the fast round mindset questions, and this is all about how we think. So I do it for a reason. It's a good reason. I learn from y'all when I ask these questions. First one is favorite book. What is your favorite book?
Right now, my favorite book is Transformative Etiquette. And so, like I said, I'm an etiquette consultant also. So I believe in always sharpening those knives. So I always want to learn more.
So Transformative Etiquette.
Here you go.
Oh, yes. I need to read that. Okay. And your favorite self-care activity?
Oh, because I'm a massage therapist, I love to get massages, right? I'm a little critical because I'm like, don't do that. Don't touch that. But I still love, I think my favorite self-care massages.
Oh, that sounds so relaxing. I need to get one myself here soon.
Yes.
How many times were you told no?
A lot. I can't even count, but I think with people telling me no, that kind of gives me fuel to my fire. And so for every 10 no's, maybe I got one yes.
Awesome. And you keep going.
Yes.
And do you have a business coach or mentor?
So I don't have a business coach, but I do have a mentor. It's Jackie Vernon Thompson, and she was the teacher for the etiquette class that I took last year. She's a phenomenal woman. And I think it's important that you follow people, like you said, like-minded people, because all you want to do is continue to elevate. And sometimes your circle will get bigger and sometimes it might get smaller, but surround yourself with people that are going to uplift you. They might tell you the real deal sometimes, but surround yourself with people that are going to elevate you.
Yes, absolutely. And then what is the most rewarding aspect of the platforms that you have in place now? What's the most rewarding aspect of those platforms?
The most rewarding is that I get to meet a need. Bless people. I believe that wholeheartedly. I have been blessed beyond measure, and I'm thankful to the Lord above for all the things that he's given me. So it's again, my obligation to help other people. And so when I can do that, I think that's just the most rewarding thing. It just, like you said, it makes my heart smile because I can do it and I want to do it. So that's it for me.
Okay. And then the final and last question is, give us your number one health and wellness tip.
Health and wellness. Okay. So this comes from my dad. He said, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else.
Ooh,
so always take care of yourself. And some people call it self-care. I think some people used to call it being selfish. But sometimes you need to take a little time for yourself to woosah your whole self, right? Woosah your whole self. Because if you are not functioning on all cylinders, you can't be there for other people. You can't be there for your family. You can't be there for your job. So take care of yourself.
Yes. And I think that is a good number one health and wellness tip, is just absorbing yourself in something that is going to give you some satisfaction and make you happy and make you want to do more. So that is great. Thank you so much, Kristen, for being here tonight. This concludes episode 9 of FitNLadyLike A Boss Series. I will conclude it next week. Your girl, me, Marquessa, I will conclude it next week. So if you ladies want to learn more about what to do to tone up your core and release some inflammation in your body, I'm just going to talk for about 30 minutes on that. So join me next week as we conclude this first round of the series with episode 10. And then in the next episodes after that, y'all got to stay tuned and stay around because I'm excited for this one. I'm not going to give too much away, but I have a celebrity guest coming on. So you guys got to be here for that. I cannot. I mean, I need the biggest audience. So I'm telling you now, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but just know, Fitty and Ladylike making some moves. Don't play with me. Don't play.
Level up. You getting it, girl.
I'm not trying to boast. I say that now because I'm very thankful for the people that God has placed on my path and who he has connected me to, because I was apprehensive at one point about getting it started. And I had to move out of my own way and just do it. And this has been a passion of mine forever. And I thank God that he just put me in the right place at the right time with the right people that want to help. And I'm so happy I got connected to this individual. And I'm not going to tell you who she is. You just got to show up. When I post it, you'll know. So don't miss it. So have a great night. We will see you next time.